Good morning and welcome to NHLA 2020 On Demand, our first and hopefully last virtual event. My name is Darwin Murray and I have been serving as your president of the NHLA Board of Managers. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us here at our NHLA Town Hall meeting. Please be sure to participate in the educational sessions over the next few days and be sure to invite your coworkers who can benefit from the learning opportunities. We are here today to honor tradition that goes back to NHLA's creation. Our agenda today focuses on welcoming new members as well as those members who have supported NHLA and some for many years. Equally important, we will be acknowledging our retiring board members and welcoming others to their second term. We will vote in new board volunteers who are committed to keeping NHLA strong, and we will also pass the gavel and vote in 2 new officers who I know will lead NHLA into a bright future. And now, for the final time, it gives me great pleasure to officially call to order the 2020 NHLA On Demand Conference and Exhibition.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Hester, and I'm your Director of Membership at NHLA. And it is my pleasure to address you all this morning. And I'm honored to serve in this particular role this morning. NHLA sponsors are important to the association's success on a number of levels. The sponsors that are listed on your screen joined in partnership with us and played a key role in bringing you our on-demand conference and exhibition. Their continued support allows NHLA to continue offering its services at a level that the hardwood industry deserves. To all of our sponsors, and on behalf of the NHLA members and staff, we can't thank you enough for your partnership and support. Your commitment to your association is overwhelming. Thank you again. One member, Frank Miller Lumber Company, always sponsors our convention registration giveaway. This year is no different. This year, thanks to Frank Miller, we're giving away an Apple smartwatch to 1 registered person. This year's winner, randomly selected, is Mr. Eli Jensen of Ironwood Forestry. Eli will be in touch to get you your gift. Thank you again to our sponsor, Frank Miller. I would also like to thank Ted Rossi and the Rossi Group for sponsoring today's virtual town hall and State of the Association. For the past 4 years, Rossi Group has been the premier sponsor of our convention, and through their generous support, in large part, make it possible year after year to bring together the greatest hardwood convention in the world. This year is no exception. Thank you, Ted, and thank you, Rossi Group, for your continued commitment to NHLA and NHLA's convention and exhibit showcase success. We look forward to seeing you in West Palm Beach in 2021. We would also like to recognize the commitment and support of our exhibitors. In keeping with our virtual theme, our exhibit showcase was turned into an interactive online exhibit hall. You can access the online exhibit hall through the NHLA convention section of our website. We have more than 50 companies participating in the virtual hall, and it will be active through the end of the year. Please visit, explore the goods and services of these companies. Whether in person or virtual, our sponsors and exhibitors are crucial to NHLA's success. Please thank them when you have an opportunity. A quick moment of housekeeping. Today's Zoom webinar has a chat feature. Later in today's program, you will be asked to participate and interact during the program. Please use the chat to connect when prompted. From NHLA's founding in 1898, the association president has addressed the annual meeting. And while I know our industry has had its challenges through the course of history, the last 2 years have been one for the record books. Our current NHLA president, Darwin Murray, has led through each challenge, from tariffs to the pandemic, with an unwavering resolve to ensure NHLA remain focused on serving our members. Please join me in welcoming President Murray to the virtual podium.
Another new day for NHLA and our industry, and I welcome you to our first virtual convention. If we've learned anything in the past 2 years, it is that we all must learn to navigate in an ever-changing world. I am proud to report NHLA has evolved with the changes to ensure you have the member services and values designed to help you succeed no matter the obstacles in our way. Wow. It's unbelievable how fast the past 2 years have flown by. It seems like only yesterday that I stood on stage in Toronto and accepted the honor and privilege of serving as president of the NHLA Board of Managers. I shared goals for those next 2 years that were inspired by the newly created NHLA strategic plan. Now, this plan was developed with the participation of active, associate, and sustaining members. And I am proud of the collaboration and unity of all member categories working together to develop a future-focused plan for our organization. As I assumed my role, I had confidence in our strategic plan and knew that our board of managers and NHLA staff would follow the goals outlined and create a new generation of value for our members. At that time, it seemed as the stars had aligned in our favor. But little did we know how fast our world would change. We faced increasing attacks from faux wood and look-alike products, lack of promotion for hardwood, a trade war, and then top it all off with a worldwide pandemic. Our world changed. Some of our members prospered during this time, and some suffered greatly. NHLA was committed to converting every crisis into an opportunity to better serve its members at new and different levels. No matter the adversity we faced or obstacles encountered, NHLA's board and staff never lost focus on responding to the constant challenges our industry faced. And I'm very proud that we never stopped working to find new solutions. The past 2 years have been packed with unity, collaboration, and consolidation of efforts to make positive changes for our industry. This was evident when leading associations joined forces to fund and develop the Hardwood Industry Economic Impact Study. This data from the study has played an instrumental role in ensuring our voices are heard not only in Washington, D.C., but in state capitals around the country. Fast forward to 2019, and industry associations joined forces once again to create the Real American Hardwood Promotion Coalition. Association executives from regional, state, and national levels, along with industry leaders, pledged to work together toward a shared goal of promoting and driving the demand for real American hardwood. The coalition has already completed its first research project and is moving forward utilizing the research to identify a brand launch. I must emphasize the importance of this collaborative model to our future success, and I applaud the member associations for their participation. Another example of collaboration is with the Hardwood Federation and others when communicating our challenges in DC. Hardwood producers were suffering due to the trade war. And as a result of our efforts, the U.S. Trade Office placed hardwoods on the negotiating table with positive results. We will always be stronger when we are united together, collaborating on opportunities, and consolidating our resources to be more effective as a whole. NHLA's role as keeper of the rules will always be an important focus for us. Along with this important role, the NHLA board staff created new values for its members. Through successful staff implementation, the NHLA created several new member benefits, such as the NHLA sawmill yield analysis and quality control programs, the creation of real-world and virtual networking opportunities, NHLA webinars on a wide variety of technical and educational topics, and we are currently testing a new accelerated 7-week inspector training school class. Now, these are just to name a few. And what a ride the last 2 years has been. I will miss serving as your president of NHLA. However, I find excitement in passing the gavel to Jeff Worklow with Hardwood Industries. Jeff brings a continued passion for this industry and association. He is a visionary and a very strong and compassionate leader. We are fortunate to have Jeff leading us the next 2 years. I thank you for the honor of serving as your NHLA president and for allowing me to give back to an organization that has supported me for 39 years. And as a graduate of the Inspection Training School, I wear my alumni lapel pin with pride. I appreciate all the great men and women that have served as the Board of Managers. These people have been generous with time, talent, energy, and resources to support direction and decisions of the association. My thanks and recognition as well to the NHLA staff for their unwavering commitment to support our members. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting this virtual convention and helping make it a reality. I'd like to acknowledge and show appreciation for my wife, Tracy. She has really enjoyed the connections made through the networking opportunities. She has not only been a loving wife, mother, and Gigi to our grandchildren, but also a big support for me as we navigated the past 2 years. In closing, the history of our industry is defined by cyclical ups and downs due to many factors. Yet here we are again, keeping our connections with one another strong. And that, in my opinion, is why we will always overcome our challenges. If I had only one word to describe the people of our industry, I would choose resilient. It is our ability and our tendency to always bounce back stronger than before. Rather than allowing failures to overcome, we find ways to rise like a phoenix from the ashes. May God bless you all, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Darwin. Thank you for that presentation, and thank you for your service as our president. We look forward to hearing more from you live in just a few moments. In my role with NHLA, I'm fortunate to get to work closely with the NHLA membership. In the last few months, I've gotten to see generosity and extreme dedication to NHLA's success from our membership, from our new members, and our long-term members alike. And today, we would like to recognize some of those members. On your screen, you will see the newest members of NHLA since our last convention in New Orleans. Take a look at these new members. You probably know some of them. Thank you to each of our new members and welcome. We also celebrate the membership of the following companies who have reached milestone membership with NHLA. Celebrating 30 years, Brunner Hildebrand, Wood-Mizer, Central Wisconsin Lumber, and Yukon Door and Plywood. Celebrating 50 years of continual membership, Northland Forest Products and the A. Johnson Company. And celebrating 75 years of membership with NHLA this year, Bailey Lumber Company and Pike Lumber Company. Thank you to these members for your long-term support and dedication. Lorna Christie has been CEO of NHLA since June of 2016. She is an experienced for-profit and nonprofit business strategist focused on the agricultural sector. I introduce you now to NHLA's Chief Executive Officer, Lorna Christie.
Good morning and greetings from NHLA headquarters in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. I know I speak for my team, maybe even the board of managers, and probably most of you in the audience. I say most emphatically, I really, really wish that I was in Louisville, Kentucky right now, but we're not. And if there's one thing that I have learned about this industry in the 4.5 years I've been there, is that we really know how to make something good out of a bad situation. Next slide. Okay. What keeps you up at night? You know, I'm sure that's a question many of us have asked each other over the course of the last 2.5 years. For me, I worry about what our members don't know that they don't know, about the increasingly broad range of value NHLA offers. I personally think it's a branding thing. Our services have been defined by our position of keeper of the rules for such a long time, we're quite frankly worried you may not expect anything else. Now, the rules will always be the foundation of NHLA value, but we want you to know that we have more because you need more in these complex times. There's a lot of firsts for NHLAs this year in terms of value creation. None of it would have been possible without the work of our inspection services committees, our convention committees, industry services, and of course the NHLA staff. And when it comes to this convention, Renee Hornsby leads the way. Before we begin, I also would like to share with you the official team motto of NHLA and probably the board as well. Keep calm and do more with less. Like many of you, we also suffered cutbacks this year, but it hasn't stopped our commitment to doing more for our industry. Let's talk about membership for a few minutes. Despite the hard times, NHLA's membership retention is an astounding in the 90+%. Now, having worked for associations most of my career, I will tell you that's extraordinary. Most associations are really happy with 83 to 85%. I credit John Hester and our board committee for that retention, but I also credit and thank you for your commitment to this organizations. Now, while our new members numbers were lower than last year, we're still in a healthy range given the unprecedented times that we find ourselves in. What, you may ask, does a monkey have to do with member engagement? I have to tell you, SurveyMonkey has become a critically important tool for our team to allow us to connect to members on an ongoing basis. We're asking you about your critical needs. When we're developing educational programs, we're asking you what's your priority. Constant contact with you is of critical importance to this team and their ability to continually promote and create new value designed specifically for you. So when you see the monkey or the SurveyMonkey questions, please respond when you see that request. Please be assured also that we are utilizing every bit of information you provide us. And if you don't think we're asking the right question, well then please call us and tell us what you need. We are always listening to your views. Now, I'm very excited about what's happening to NHLA.com as well. Under Renee Hornsby, our Director of Marketing Communications, Convention, and about 5 other things, it has blossomed is perhaps the best word. It's no longer just a place to register for the convention. It has become an informational portal. We're now housing educational content, and we'll keep that information refreshed as we move on and actually creating new value in the education area for your needs. It's also a lead generation tool, thanks to Renee's team, that is actually giving us leads on new member possibilities on an ongoing basis. Let's talk about the Inspector Training School. A lot of progress held there. Some Darwin mentioned, thanks to Chief Dana Spessard and our board committees. We have a new school instructor, Roman Matachenko. Roman has been with us for years in the international area. Roman is now busy in his first class, the 194th class. All's going well. This is our first 7-week class that Darwin mentioned, all appropriately attired in the times of COVID. If you look closely, there's someone there that looks a little bit like Chief Dana Spessard. I believe he's the 3rd generation of Spessard to actually participate or graduate from the NHLA training school. This class went off without a hitch, and as a matter of fact, the grade point averages of the graduating students were very much in line with our 12-week class. We'll be testing this class again, fine-tuning it as we move forward and offering different opportunities, different variations for our members. Carol McAlay also is a new addition to the Inspector Training School. She is not only our school administrator, she's also the chief counselor to our independent students. Carol is counseling them on interview skills as well as writing a resume. We're very proud, and we find our independent students are using this great new resource wisely. Now, probably the greatest activity has been happening in our NHLA inspection services. And we're not just talking about an increase in the number of companies that NHLA inspector visits. Our short courses that, of course, we can no longer teach, or are we actually starting them up again in the times of COVID? What we've done with our inspectors, their expertise is so vast. We've started mining that expertise and converting it into the quality control programs that Darwin spoke about. One of the great new opportunities we created this year in that area is that we implemented a new pricing model for the yield analysis. Now the pricing is structured on size of mill. Once again, totally committed to NHLA members' needs. This is one of my, well, we'll try it again. This is one of my favorite quotes. In the midst of every crisis lies an opportunity. Now, Albert Einstein technically didn't say that. It was a Chinese philosopher thousands of years ago. But we actually embraced that concept. So when we were faced with the cancellation of all of our short courses in the near-term future, we were inspired to go online. If it doesn't go live, then we'll just go online. We created the first online educational programming in NHLA's history. And more importantly, this new program taught by Dr. Eugene Weigert, he's donated his services for the program. It's free to NHLA members. The really exciting part about this webinar is that while one person can register, there are many people in the room. Those are people who have never really witnessed NHLA's value. In some cases, they may not even ever heard of NHLA. This is a whole new audience of our members that we're able to reach through these webinars. They're very excited about the future of this programs. Right now, it's focused on operational issues like kiln drying. In the future, we're planning additional webinars on leadership and sales. Now, you'll see down at the bottom also, once again, our webinar is our sponsors are really supporting the future of NHLA with their very generous sponsorships. All of these webinars will be on nhla.com. Once again, reinforcing that model, our goal of becoming an information portal for all of our members. Next, I'd like to tell you just a few things about our faux wood advertising project that we're working on. This is comes out of our board promotion committee. If I had one word to describe the research that we've conducted over the past couple of months, it's outrageous. Yes, many people have talked about faux wood advertising for years, the negative impact it has on all of our bottom line. But after conducting the research, the extent of the advertising and the grievous nature of the advertising is really pretty extraordinary. These people have been getting away with a lot for a very long time. So we started the research looking at what we can do to stop some of this behavior. You may know that the faux advertising claims are actually governed by the Federal Trade Commission, as well as it basically on two pieces of regulation. So False Advertising Act, Section 5 of the FTC Act, as well as the Green Rule, which governs false environmentally friendly types of advertising. Now, unfortunately, this project was pretty much put to a screeching halt because of COVID and the election. Not a lot happens in DC during election time and a month or so afterwards. But we will be picking this back up, working in DC with the Hardwood Federation, of course, to actually advance our industry's belief that this information should be regulated by the government. And we'll talk more about that at Thursday's session. We're still very much interested in the potential of cross-laminated timber, particularly hardwood, the potential of hardwood cross-laminated timber for the future. We are still moving forward in helping and supporting research conducted by Dr. Henry Casada from Virginia Tech. AHMI is really leading the way on this. We're also participating with HMA to basically make sure that we're moving forward on the potential of this product. Finally, this is one of my favorite slides. The future is loading, because it really does exemplify how fast things are moving for our industry. NHLA will always preserve the core, rules-based core, but we'll also be working right alongside you and monitoring the future to ensure that we can adapt and modify new programs and services designed and tailor-made to meet your needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorna, for those words and your work over the last 5 years. You have led right beside us during these challenging and innovative times. Thank you. NHLA would not be the industry's leading association if it were not for the dedication and devotion shown by all who volunteer. Men and women who provide their invaluable time, talents, and resources. This year, there are 2 individuals completing their elected terms as NHLA directors. Pete Van Amersfoort and David Mayfield. Each has played an important role in their service as a director. Thank you both for your contributions. Pete Van Amersfoort served on the Inspection Services and Inspector Training School committees, and David Mayfield has served as mission leader over membership and networking. On behalf of the entire membership of NHLA, I would like to thank you both for your dedication and service. And can we get a virtual round of applause for these guys? Now, as we look to the future, I would like to acknowledge the nominating committee who did an outstanding job of selecting the candidates to fill several positions. Let's wait here just a second. We may be having some technical difficulties.
Darwin, it does look like we're having a problem getting the slides to load. If you want to give it just a second.
I will do that.
Thank you. There we go.
Okay. The nominating committee members are Brent Steve, Huron Forest Products, immediate past chairman and chairman of the nominating committee, Stephanie Van Dystap, BV Hardwoods, Garner Robinson, Robinson Lumber, and Gary Swanner, Swanner Hardwood. Now, we are all set to enter the new world of virtual voting. After Brent Steve reads nominees' names for open positions on the board, you will see a polling message on your screen. Please indicate yes for approval of the candidates, no if you do not approve. After the polls are closed, you will receive another notice indicating the results. As you are attending virtually, I would like to remind our members that our voting process is one vote per member company. I cede the floor to Brent Steve, Chairman of the 2020 Nominating Committee.
Hey, Brent, you're muted. If you could unmute.
Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. Thanks, Darwin. Mr. President, the committee puts forward the following names in nomination. The following are nominated to serve a second consecutive term on the Board of Managers. Rob Cabral, UCS Forest Group, Mississauga, Ontario. Jordan McIlvaine, Alvin McIlvaine Company, Marcus Hook, PA. Joe Pryor, Oaks Unlimited, Waynesville, North Carolina. Rich Solano, Pike Lumber Company, Akron, Indiana. And Ray White, Harold White Lumber Company, Moorhead, Kentucky. The following are nominated to serve a first term as a director. Tom Coble, Hartzell Hardwood, Piqua, Ohio. Bill Courtney, Classic American Hardwoods, Memphis, Tennessee. Sam Glidden, GMC Hardwoods, Dover, Massachusetts. Oh, Medfield, Massachusetts, sorry. Greg Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick and Weller, Ellicottville, New York. And Trent Yoder, Yoder Lumber, Millersburg, Ohio.
Are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, is there a second to these nominations? I have a second from Scott Heidler. Can I have a motion to elect these candidates by majority ballot? And we have a motion from John Cyree. Is there a second? A second from Stephanie Vandersteit. All those in favor of the motion signify by choosing yes. All opposed, no. Mr. Hester, can you advise when the voting is completed?
I would think everyone would have voted by now, so you should be fine to go now, Darwin.
Okay, we have the results. It is a super high majority voting in favor. The motion carries. The first term directors have all accepted the board position and will be sworn in during the fall Board of Managers meeting in November. Brent, please continue.
Mr. President, the committee nominates Jeff Workla as president of NHLA, Hardwood Industries, Inc., Sherwood, Oregon.
May I please have a second from the floor? And we have a second from Ed Armbruster. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call the question. All in favor, vote yes. Any opposed, vote no.
Darwin, I would think again, people probably have had an opportunity to vote by now.
Okay. We'll wait just one more moment.
Okay.
I do receive the results of the voting once it's completed. I can see it here. Again, supermajority voting, the motion carries. Jeff, congratulations. I know you will do an outstanding job as NHLA president, and thank you for your commitment. Brent, please continue.
Darwin, we also had the task of nominating an individual to serve as vice president of NHLA. After careful consideration, we submit for nomination the name of John Cyree, Cascade Hardwood Group, Chehalis, Washington.
Cynthia Pope, please offer a second to the nomination of John Cyree for vice president, NHLA Board of Managers.
Port Angeles.
We have no sound.
Both are members of NHLA. It's my honor to second the nomination of Jonathan Cyree, president of both Cascade Hardwood and Port Angeles Hardwood, for the position of vice president of the National Hardwood Lumber Association. I have worked for the Cyree family businesses for more than 30 years. I have known Jonathan since he was in high school. He is a decent, caring man who has been intimately involved in his family's businesses since he graduated from the University of Montana. He's been actively involved in the Cyree family's hardwoods lumber businesses for more than 12 years and became president of both Cascade Hardwood and Port Angeles Hardwood in 2015. I have been privileged to work with Jonathan during these years and to observe his dedication to these companies. He not only is mindful of the day-to-day operations of the business, but also is dedicated to the health and safety and well-being of all the sawmill employees. His stewardship has been instrumental to the success of both Cascade and Port Angeles Hardwood in the face of stiff competition and challenging market and economic conditions. Jonathan is also deeply interested in the hardwood lumber business and its future, whether it be through new technologies, new markets, or new products. I know he has enjoyed and appreciated the exchange of ideas and the mutual support afforded to him through his participation in NHLA activities and events. Jonathan has previously served on the Finance Committee, Convention Committee, Marketing Committee, and Executive Committee of NHLA. Jonathan has the experience to further lead this organization. I therefore strongly support Jonathan's nomination as Vice President of NHLA. Thank you.
I call the question. All those in favor of John Cyree as vice president, please signify by voting yes, and those opposed, no. The motion carries. Jeff and John, congratulations. Jeff and John will also be sworn in during the November Board of Managers meeting. Now, I would like to invite you to this video for a message from Jeff.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for participating in the first ever virtual NHLA convention. I know we all miss physically seeing our friends, customers, and vendors that would occur during a normal convention. When a COVID-19 vaccine becomes a reality, we will return to our roots and put on an in-person convention. That will be a great day. It's hard to put into words how honored and excited I am to be your president for the next 2 years. I pledge to give you my best efforts and thoughts. I will challenge you to think about things you may have been too busy to think about in the course of your normal day. Before we begin this kind of discussion, I want to set the table with the great people that are involved in directing the NHLA. Darwin Murray has been president of the NHLA for the past 2 years. What a tumultuous time. First, he had to deal with the effects of the tariff dispute, and then COVID-19. He oversaw success for both McLean Forest Products and the NHLA. This is an outstanding accomplishment. When you have the chance, thank Darwin for his great work. He was the right man in the right place at the right time. In addition to Darwin's leadership, we are fortunate to have a dedicated team of professionals committed to helping our members at the NHLA. Lorna Christie, CEO, and her senior staff are doing great work at the facilities in Memphis. It's been a tough couple of years. The NHLA has had to make significant cuts in staff and operational expenses. Each senior staff person has a key area of focus and has done outstanding work this past year. Desiree Freeman brilliantly handles our association financials. John Hester handles membership with great care and concern. Renee Hornsby handles marketing, publications, and our convention management. Her plate is full. Dennis Besser is our chief inspector and handles our team of NHLA inspectors. He is also focused on creating new values for our members. When you get the chance, thank them for their hard work and contribution to our association. Most of you do not know me. Who is this guy from the West Coast that is becoming president of the NHLA? The next few minutes is my goal to help you to get to know me a bit. What I believe and some of the thoughts that might help the NHLA membership. I'm the co-founder and current president of Hardwood Industries, Inc. In January 2021, we will have served our customers for 40 years. We have survived through all the ups and downs our industry has experienced. We started with the classic distribution model and have transitioned to a one-of-a-kind company. Today, we regrade, remanufacture, retally, remerchandise a couple containers of hardwood lumber each day. We have 3 NHLA trained graders, and the NHLA grading rules are the heart of what we do. We also have a full milling facility and can make almost anything that can be made out of hardwood lumber and sheet stock. I am passionate about a lot of things. My Lord and Savior provides my moral compass. I'm passionate about my wife, Janie, 45 years. I would not be standing in front of you today without her love, support, and countless hours of mothering our family when I was working. I'm passionate about my family. I have 2 sons, David and Doug, my daughter Jessie, and my son-in-law Kurt, that work with me and have the energy, ability, desire to lead our company into the next generation. I'm passionate about creating good paying jobs and giving our employees a better life. I'm passionate about providing our customers a genuine value of products that help them to be successful. I'm passionate about our vendors. They supply us our lifeblood of products that allows us to be in business today. I'm passionate about the NHLA. We would not exist if the past leaders of the NHLA had not created this organization. What will the next 2 years bring? After the last 2 years, expecting normalcy does not seem wise. Before we visit about a few concepts that might be helpful to the NHLA for the next 2 years, I'd like to explore a few fundamentals of life that I've learned in 40+ years in the hardwood lumber business. I'm sure you know these fundamentals, but it is good to review these concepts and keep them in the front of your mind. Number one here, whatever we decide to do, your attitude at the beginning of any endeavor is essential for success. I have a portion of a poem I've committed to my memory. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you won't. If you'd like to, but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. For out in this world, you'll find the person that succeeds is the person that thinks they can. And you can insert a lot of words for the person, community, church, state, city, country. One must believe we can succeed if we want to try to create success. Number two, there is more that we do not know than we know. New original concepts are happening and being discovered every day. Success tends to create overconfidence. All of us online here today are successful. Regardless of our success, know that there is still more that we do not know than we know. In any improvement process, we need to strive, discover, and learn new things. Doing this gives us a chance for a new breakthrough concept. Without this belief, improvement will not occur, and your future is uncertain. In business, if your competition is improving and you are not, they put themselves in a better position to take market share. Without improvement, you could possibly lose your job and maybe even your business. A failure is not a failure. It is education if you learn from it. It has been said that Thomas Edison's team failed 1,000 times before they found a filament that would give off light and last for a few hours. Did they really fail? Or did they learn what didn't work? As we move forward, let's start with an attitude that gives us a chance for success. Know there is more we don't know than we know. And failure is education if we learn from it. Have you thought about why associations exist? Associations should do things for its members that members cannot do for themselves. The NHLA does many things for each of us that we cannot do for ourselves. The NHLA maintains standard grading rules for the measurement and inspection of hardwood lumber, provides education and training of graders through our inspection training school, provides many services for members, including grading lumber, training your employees, yield analysis, and quality control, advocates on behalf of our members in Washington, D.C. in support of the hardwood industry, holds an annual convention for networking and marketing, communicates relevant and timely information to our membership, is working on creating a collaboration of associations to produce a promotion message that will help to build our hardwood industry. I know there is more that we could add to that list. From a value perspective, the NHLA provides a value portfolio that is extensive and provides a genuine value to its members. I see no way I can be part of this industry and not be a member of NHLA. I would be at a competitive disadvantage if I were not a member. At this point, I want to challenge our current thinking. The desire is to make us better. Remember to start with an attitude that gives us a chance for success. Know there is more that we don't know than we know. And failure is education if we learn from it. Also know that I am not a dictator. It took me 12 years in business to figure that one out. Today, I'm the polar opposite of a dictator. I want to use all the minds in my company and in this industry to chart our direction. The NHLA has a process for implementing improvement. It starts with a group of dedicated members putting together a strategic plan. Our board of directors will scour, question, and enhance it. Once approved, our staff in Memphis will implement it. I'd like to visit about grading lumber. The purpose of our rules is to give users of hardwood an understanding about what they will receive when they buy a shipment of lumber. The vast majority of our members follow the rules as written in the NHLA rulebook. The NHLA Sales Code, Article 10, Section 8, gives us a method for dispute resolution over a shipment of lumber. It explains what happens between a buyer and seller and how the dispute is settled with the aid of an NHLA inspector. This is where the 4% value variation comes from. This form of dispute resolution rarely happens today. No one has time for this. In reality, the two parties work together to come up with a resolution. If the buyer does not think they were treated fairly, they move on and find another supplier. If the mill feels they've been taken advantage of, they will go out and find a new customer. However, two things happen due to this portion of the sales code. First, The 4% variation of value rule has set what is practiced today. If the value of the shipment is within 4%, there is no claim. Determining value has two variables, the footage and the price. Value is footage times price. Either variable can change. If you talk to Dana Spesser, he will tell you the tally is supposed to be the tally and the variation in value is supposed to be from the grade. However, this is not what is happening today. The second thing that is happening is that many suppliers are using footage variation as standard practice. I was fortunate to play for a college football Hall of Fame coach. He taught us, if something gives you an advantage and it's within the rules, you should do it. Our members are operating within the rules and doing things that give them an advantage. We cannot be critical of them. They are operating within our rules. Here's what I want you to think about. Do we want our NHLA grading rules and sales code to be the gold standard for grading and selling lumber around the world? I want you to think about this. If you ordered 100 of something and you only received 96 or 97, but you paid for 100, how would you feel? This phenomenon is allowed within our rules. Is this a gold standard? Is it time for the NHLA to come up with a better solution? I will encourage our board of managers to debate this long-standing issue. Another thought is, should the NHLA address rustic grades in addition to 2B and 3B common grade definitions? Everyone wants to sell more lumber for more. If we increase the average price of what we sell that is produced from the log, we will increase our profits. We have two segments of our industry and a few historic companies that have figured out how to do this. What they are doing is selling more boards with knots or more. Both the alder industry and the European beech industry have come up with grades of rustic that have enhanced their returns. The NHLA has not defined rustic grades except in alder and 2B and 3B common. Is it time for our industry to create definitions for rustic grades? If it helps our members be more successful, why would we not want to do that? One of the great creations of the past couple decades is the Hardwood Federation and the Hardwood Federation PAC. This funding model has been proven to work. Associations, corporations, and individuals contribute annually to fund their endeavors. Today, Dana Cole, Carrie Moon, and Pat Rita have done an outstanding job of providing a voice for our industry in Washington, D.C. If you have not participated in a fly-in, add it to your bucket list of things to do at some point in your life. It will be an experience that will be part of you for the rest of your life. For sure, if you can't participate, donate. Your contribution will be some of the most valuable dollars you spend. The Hardwood Federation will be giving an update on their work in one of the seminars scheduled later this week. The Hardwood Federation funding model has been successfully applied to support the development of our industry's first economic impact study, as well as the development of the Real American Hardwood Promotion Coalition. There will also be an opportunity to hear about the progress of the Real American Hardwood Coalition in one of our seminars scheduled later this week. During my time on the NHLA board, there has been an annual discussion about the cost of maintaining our dedicated group of lumber inspectors and our inspection training school. We spend more on the school and inspectors than we receive for their services each year. I asked the question, should we consider the Hardwood Federation funding model to help support these valuable segments of our NHLA? However, I believe this may not be necessary if we can provide more work for our inspectors. I hear so much how hard it is to find and keep an NHLA trained inspector. If you find yourself short-staffed, call the NHLA. Inspectors are available for a single day or for a longer term. Another option is to use our inspectors to do yield analysis or quality control programs at your sawmill. Results have produced hundreds of thousands of dollars of increased revenue for those that have participated since the program's inception. You can also become facility grade certified. Each company that becomes certified provides work for an inspector for a day, twice a year. They determine the value of what you are shipping to see if you are shipping within NHLA standards. Once your facility is certified, it will be listed on the NHL website as a supplier shipping within NHLA standards. I think we currently have 89 certified facilities. Could we double that number in the next couple of years? That would double the work we currently are providing for NHLA inspectors. Finally, you can hire an NHL inspector to train your employees or your customers about lumber grading. The knowledge received will be training that will generate value in your facilities. Our inspectors are ready and willing to work for you. We have a group of members I want to acknowledge today. This group is our sustaining members. Many of them have generously sponsored this virtual convention, our activities in the past, and will do so in the future. They provide products and services and innovations we cannot do for ourselves. Just like we need to support our national inspectors, we need to support our sustaining members. We need to give them our business if we can. We need them to be profitable to give them the ability to innovate. They are a big part of our industry success. Thank you if you're a sustaining member. In closing, let me say a few words about our industry's future. We have such great people in our industry. If we were in a convention hall, you can look around and see many great people. Passionate, hardworking, honest, and ethical people. Many of us are hardworking to a fault. We're working so hard and long that we do not have time to do many important things that need to be done. Our association is here to do many of those things for you. There is something that we all need to do to move our industry to where it should be in the world's eyes. We continue to lose battles with the perception the environmental movement has bestowed on us. They have much of the world thinking it is bad to cut a tree. There's no need for forest management. Nature will take care of itself. The wildfires that currently in Oregon, Washington, and California tell a different story. Look at the difference between managed forest and unmanaged forest of Mount St. Helens. Private managed forest on one side, unmanaged property on the other. Forest management works, and the world needs to know it. That is where we need to come into the picture. Currently, we have both the North American Forest Foundation and the Real American Hardwood Promotion Coalition working to change the understanding about the truth of trees in our industry. Significant progress will be made this year. Now, I want to ask a few questions. How well do you know the story about how good we are for the environment? Can you sit across the table from an environmentalist and win a debate? I found myself unprepared a couple years ago. It happened to me at a fly-in in Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley's office. When I had made a few pro-industry statements, a young staffer said to me, "That's not what our science says." I was not ready to fire back. I missed the opportunity. I did not have the facts committed to my memory to respond in a positive way. How are we going to change what the world thinks of us if we are not prepared? We have so much going for us, but I believe because we are working so hard, we have to let someone else determine what the world thinks of us. Trees are natural air scrubbers. They take in carbon, sequester the carbon in the wood, and release beautiful, clean oxygen into the atmosphere. Young growing trees give off more oxygen and sequester carbon faster than older mature trees. Carbon can be sequestered in wood products for hundreds of years. Can we passionately tell our story about our forests? There's not one of us who wants to rape our forests, but the environmentalists portray us as that we want to clear cut the world's forest. If we were in a convention hall, I would not find one person who thinks this way. Many of us have our families and our futures are dependent upon this resource being available for them. Not one of us wants to hurt our families. Our forests cannot clean up all the carbon dioxide the world is emitting into the air. But what other building material does what our forests and trees and the products we make from them do? We must learn the facts, commit them to our memory and our hearts, and passionately tell the world how good we are. We need to toot our own horns. No one is going to do it for us. Get the facts, study the facts, debate the facts, teach them to our families, to our friends, to our employees, to our customers' employees, to our vendors. We can build an army armed with the facts about forests and trees, and we can change what the world thinks about us. The world can know we are not the problem. We are part of the solution. I've talked about a lot of topics today, and I hope that some of them will cause a positive response in your life, your business, and this association. I'm excited for the next 2 years. Join me in trying to make a difference. It will be rewarding and fun. Thank you for your time and thoughts.
Thank you, Jeff. And I am confident that under your leadership, the NHLA Board of Managers will continue to guide NHLA to success. And thank you to Brent, Steve, and the nominating committee for your great work in identifying the highest caliber of candidates. And rest assured, the NHLA board is in good hands. Thanks to our members for attending NHLA's first ever on-demand virtual conference. Your continued support of NHLA is what keeps us moving forward. We remain strong because of your support. We look forward to doing this in person in West Palm Beach, Florida, September 22nd through 24th, 2021. I want to thank our sponsors once more and invite you to visit our virtual exhibit hall, which again is located on the convention pages of NHLA.com. Tomorrow, we will start 2 days of virtual education, and I hope you will make plans to join in for the live events. I now need a motion to adjourn the opening session. We have a motion. Can I have a second? And we have a second. Thank you. And thank you again for your participation. We stand adjourned.